Start. There we go. That's better. Log in with Rumii account. Danzig at MVR. Okay. Danzig at MVR. Password. Okay. All right. Okay. Close. Join a room. Team. Personal public. So I need to. Okay. Let's see. Public. North America. Personal. No rooms. Public. Let's see if we can join with a redeem a code. There we go. R6Z KX8. Okay. All right, so streaming. I managed to log in with the secondary account, which is great. Entering that user, the room code, the dog is just spinning in place. And I've had that on a number of other places as well. Thank you, Matt. I've logged in with secondary account. I'm trying to redeem the code because again, I don't have access to the EdMVR auditorium. And at the moment the dog is just spinning in place. And there's again, brand new laptop, no cache issues.
Yeah, it's probably just loading for the first time on that box.
Okay.
So,
all right. Okay.
Yeah, but I made your other account in admin, so you should be good.
I've logged in with that. Thank you so much.
Sure.
See if I can set up a live stream for this. Rumii. Properties. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Then there you go.
Yeah,
So
no worries.
Go.
I'm gonna also record this one. Hey, everybody.
Yeah. Hi. Okay.
Wait 1 second. I'm starting my recording.
Stream. Yeah, it's still spinning in place. Does it take a while?
It doesn't take a while. It's probably the local processor on your machine. I'm actually not sure, but I do know that it's not the services. It would be something local.
Okay.
To the box.
All right.
So, right. But I don't know. We can do it later though.
Okay. All right. So I'm almost in. Yeah, I'm not sure this is going to work if we record it. Are you able to just record it rather than stream it?
Yeah, I'm going to be recording from my camera view here. So.
Okay. Right. In that case, bear with me because I'm actually going to change the stream feed back to alt space. Let me see. Let me close that down. Close. Alt space.
Hi, Matt. It's John Grant.
Hey, John. I recognize your avatar.
Yeah, and Brent.
Oh, hey, Brent. How's it going,
Brent's in here somewhere. All right.
Okay.
I see Jen and 2 Rumii users. Who are the 2 Rumii users that we have in the room? We've got a avatar right here.
Yeah, I don't know if you could hear me. My name is Amy. It's the first time using this platform. I've used AltSpace before, but
Welcome.
I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks.
Welcome, Amy.
We have someone else over here. Let me see if I can get up here. Oh, hey, Bill. How's it going? Yep. Alrighty. Looks like Daniel.
Yep.
How's it going,
I'm with you.
Hey, Bill.
I'm almost ready to go, guys. Sorry about this. I'm just setting up the live stream for AltSpace, and then we can take off here. 2 minutes.
So if you want, Matt, I can moonwalk Okay, I'm gonna moonwalk. Ready? Here we go.
Let's see.
Oh, you can't
Very
see my
nice.
feet. I
I
guess
can't
that
see your
doesn't work.
feet, but
All
I can
right.
see you moonwalking.
All right, I'm gonna moon teleport backwards.
Perfect.
There we go.
Excellent. Very nice.
Okay, let me have a look here.
Yeah.
Bringing it down. I'm almost
And
back.
Matt, I usually start
worries.
some of my discussions with
Right.
this. My name is Grant and I cannot rap, but that's okay. I'm all right. See,
We
I
would
can't
agree
rap.
with you. You can't rap. That was a true statement. So thanks for that. All right, who else do we have here? I have someone here in a cool hat up there. Hey,
Who's that?
alrighty.
Hello, Joshua. How you doing?
So,
We're almost good. Daniel's
yeah,
just
almost good.
switching the live screens.
Almost good.
So yeah,
2
Daniel,
moments.
we'll try to see if we can figure out what the deal was.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Yeah,
No
after
problem.
this, no
All right.
big deal.
I think we're live on Space and we're recording here, so let's do this. Thank you so
Cool.
much for your patience.
Awesome.
Can I just say a huge big thank you to Matt and Doghead Simulations and Jen. The last weeks and so we've been coordinating the fact that we will, nice emojis. Let me see there. Yay. That we are running some events on the Rumii platform. And this is really nice because we tried before for AWE, but I think it was a bit short notice. It didn't happen. So here we are now, finally redeeming ourselves, Matt. I'm really, really, really pleased that Doghead Simulations and Rumii and you guys are part of the summit. Because I know I spoke to you a couple of months ago, Matt, and I was trying to find out, a bit more about Rumii, and I remember you said, correct me if I'm wrong now, but you have every week how many users using this platform?
So we've got about 7,000 institutions around the world using us.
Yeah, 7,000 institutions around the world using this platform on a weekly or regular basis. I couldn't believe it when you said that. That seems amazing. How did you get to that point?
Great question. So we don't have a physical office, which we'll be
Right.
going through kind of why in this presentation. But
Okay.
we have employees around the world. So
Right.
it's been nice to be able to hire employees that speak multiple languages around the world.
Yeah.
And that has just helped us with a really aggressive global market traction. I think that's actually directly related to why we've been able to get so many users.
Fantastic.
So,
I
yeah.
love that. I love that. Okay, well, I'm going to get out of your way, Matt, because you are a consummate professional. You know what you're doing. I'm going to take a place up here, and I'm going to enjoy this.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
All
Thanks
right,
for
Matt.
joining, everybody. Thanks, Daniel. Really appreciate you making us a part of this conference. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's awesome. We're breaking records and just killing it, and we have people from around the world and no conference illness, which I love. So this is great. So thank you. This is awesome. Alrighty. Well, I see if you have like your fingers has like a little laser pointer coming out of it. If you look down and you just click trigger the hand icon, that'll go away. That'll keep us from having like laser beam sword
Laser
fights
fights.
in here.
Are you seeing
But,
mine? Am mine got them?
Yeah, you're gone. You're gone. You see them because you're in sixth off, but
Right.
we don't
Okay.
see yours.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if,
Okay. All good.
yeah.
Didn't
But
want to
if
disrupt you there.
Matt,
if you
how
turn
about
it
mine?
on,
Are
we
mine
can
off?
see both of yours. I can see both of yours, John.
Okay. All right. So.
Yep.
Boom. Boom.
John's rocking
see.
dual
Okay.
lightsabers there. So thank you everybody for joining. What I love about virtual reality is that besides just the ability to connect from literally anywhere on Earth, there's no rules. Like there's this famous scene in The Matrix where the little Buddhist monk is talking to Neo and he says, "There is no spoon," and the spoon bends. I love that about this. That's what I love about VR. So please feel free to, we have, less than half body avatars up here. Please feel free to interrupt me as I go through this. I'd like this to be like a very much a discussion as I walk through it. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, no worries at all. We can take questions at the end. But thank you, everybody. All right, well, let's get started here real quick. So my name is Matt Chacon. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Doghead Simulations. And right here, I'll point her out in the middle because I know she loves this. Jen Chavez is here in the front. She is our chief operating officer, and she's also an owner of the company. And she's got a talk coming up this week, I think tomorrow. So, yeah. So,
it's on Thursday.
It's on Thursday. Got it. Cool. And we've got some familiar faces in here. We've got, of course, Daniel, one of the co-founders and creators of this incredible event, amazing event. John Grant up here. John he's one of our partners. He's from the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency. And we have one of his partners here as well, I believe, Brent, joining us today. And the other people I don't know, I met one of you yesterday at one of my talks. Thank you for attending. That's Bill Maher, not the actual Bill Maher, but a guy with the name Bill Maher is here. So thank you for joining. All right, so yeah, let's get started. This is going to be a talk on really how our company regularly saves so it's over 80% a year on travel by not having a physical office and really reducing our travel to conferences like this. And when I was building this talk, when I finished writing it, I thought, well, why am I giving this talk to this crowd? Because you all get it. Like you all understand this. But I'm going to walk through these slides, so feel free to interrupt if you got questions as we go through, and or we can take Q&A at the end. All right. So this is important, and I firmly believe this. If you don't have an XR strategy, you're not paying attention. And the reason I feel so passionately about this, so this is kind of like the why. Like, why would I do this? Why would I use this? Well, if we look at what happened to desktop computing got replaced by those tiny little things that are the size of a card deck that we carry in our pockets and use in the bathroom. They're called cell phones. That replaced desktop computing. And it was amazing. And now we're seeing this paradigm shift where spatial computing is on the verge of replacing mobile computing. So I don't think the spatial computing reality is going to look like what it does now. I think we would all agree to that, but it's going to be an important part of our human story and how we interact with each other and how we compute and interact with the world in general. So this is kind of phase 0.5 / phase 1, when we're moving pretty quickly into that reality. So what I want to do is I would like to compare the average cost of a typical 3-day conference versus a VR conference. And this is all data. This is not data that I Googled. This is data that we have collected from our own company using this over the last 4 years. Our company is 4 years old. We started in 2016, and we've been working in environments like this in Rumii that entire time. So in a typical 3-day conference, you're going to be spending around $3,000 to send one human being to that conference. So depending on where you're traveling to, and this is data from our company, ticket, travel, hotel, food, all of that's going to add up to around $3,000. And there's a bunch of other hidden costs like time away from family, kids, just your physical time away from your job, and you have to go back to that job. I mean, we've all got businesses to run. We've all got jobs to do. When you're at a conference, a lot of that work just doesn't get done. Or unfortunately, when you're at the conference, you're not attending the conference. You're sitting in one of those nice, cushy little couches that they provide, and you're checking your email and you're attending meetings, and it's kind of a waste of time. It's not very effective use of time. Well, in VR, and this is our company. This is our company. You can use our platform for free up to 3 users. Beyond that, you need to pay about $15 a person. So it's $14.99 per user per month, and you can attend conferences all month long for $15. It's not $3,000. So the price pretty much speaks for itself. And when you go to these conferences, you should be really asking yourself, what's my return on investment? Regardless of the cost, if it's $1,000, if it's $3,000, if it's more than that, are you getting that equivalent value in education, training, and leads? Sales leads is pretty important. So this is something that goes, let me change my text here to red because it's just cooler. Sales leads is pretty important when you're going to a conference. A lot of us go to conference to network, which is important, but we also use them as business development opportunities. And unfortunately, like the larger conferences like CES, which is an important conference, but the quality of sales leads is pretty low. And that happens at a lot of conferences. You get a lot of the people who are just, oh, I'm interested in this, or I want to, bend your ear for 90 minutes, and the conversation's not too valuable. You've made a connection, but what you really should be doing is quantifying that cost, not just qualifying that cost or that lead. And I think that's pretty important, and it's missed a lot when we pay for conferences. Oops. And you can do all of the same things.
Yeah. Did Matt go away? Everybody else there?
A second.
Yeah, we're here. We lost him.
I'm sure he'll be back in just a second. I love this process.
Sorry, everybody.
Hey, there you are.
Hey,
All
I
right.
talk with my hands and I get excited and I kick myself out of my own rooms all the time. So apologies for that. Let's go back over there. That will probably happen at least one other time, just so you know. I get so excited. So I don't need to spend a whole lot of time on this, but we can do breakout sessions, we can do labs, we can collaborate, we can do all the same things. In fact, a good example of this is John Grant. I've known John Grant for going on 2 years now. I've never met him. Never met him in my life in face to face. But we have a very
Hey, that's
deeply
true. That's really weird. We
Yeah.
haven't met face to face yet.
I don't even if I hit your car in a parking lot and drove away, I wouldn't even know what you look like.
Well, I wouldn't mess with you because recently you've been working out crazy and you're a monster. I'd have to just leave you alone.
I have a talk on that on Thursday, so it'll be good. I highly encourage everyone to attend. But I've never met Daniel. We've directly in virtual reality. And when we started the company, I didn't meet a single person that we hired face to face for 90 days. And when we met, we hugged immediately, every single one of us. And it was amazing. So it's an important part of removing those prejudices from the work environment and just the conferencing environment. So what I also want to do is talk about other costs, like physical office costs. So our company, we employ people around the world. We've got customers around the world. We've got very deep market traction, but we don't have a physical office. And it's very much by design because we didn't want to start a spatial computing company and then commute to an office all day, just like, we owned a paper company in Ohio. So if I look at what I did when I was starting this company, I personally sat down and I took this data, and what I did was I calculated the average cost of starting a business, of getting a physical office space in these 6 locations, and I calculated what that would cost our company. And I came up with this. You were looking at around $42. At that time, it was around $42 on average per square foot. And I figured with the people that we had when we started the company, we needed around 2,000 square feet of office space. And to just start the company, just supplies, coffee, food, a fridge, a little college fridge, we needed around $24,000 just to start. So annually, that would have run us around $108,000 a year. This data is from 2016. So it's 4 years old. It's very, very old. So costs are obviously much more expensive than this now. We don't pay this. We don't pay any of this. And in fact, the costs have since gone way beyond $108,000 a year for a physical office. And what we thought was, why are we, even in 2016, we had this thought, oops, why are we hopping in our cars? Why are we waking up with a screen? Like my cell phone's my alarm clock. And I stare at a screen. And then I hop into my car and I fight through traffic to go sit in front of a screen and work all day long. Then after work, I hop into my car again and I drive all the way home and fight through traffic just to yet again sit in front of another screen. It made no sense. So we decided we're not going to do that. We don't need to do that. And that was 4 years ago. It's 2020. People still do this. Why? I don't know why we're still doing that. Because we don't need to. We don't need to. Now, VR doesn't replace human connections, but it most certainly augments these human connections. So we don't have a physical office at Doghead. We have zero plans to ever have a physical office at Doghead. We just don't think it's necessary. And we rarely ever travel to conferences. We do travel to conferences, but it's a very rare occasion, and it has to prove an extremely high return on investment. Because of that, every year we save, on average, around, oops, let me get rid of that little guy, around 100, well, this is close to $200,000 a year just in fees and expenses, operating expenses. And we're able to reduce our carbon footprint by 81 metric tons every single year, which is amazing. So we're very, very happy about that. In addition to that, oops, every year we earn a significant increase in productivity, 30% productivity gains, because we're not fighting through traffic. Honestly, people are happier and we have a lot more time to ourselves, which is great. We've also, over the last 4 years, we've grown our company by doing this. And Daniel mentioned it a little at the start of this talk. He was kind of surprised at our market traction. But because it's so easy just to throw on an HMD and build a relationship, our company has grown by an average of 400% year over year. It's amazing. In fact, in year one, we grew from 300%. Year two, we grew 733%. So over the last 4 years, this averaged out to around 400%. And our monthly active users have increased by 340%. And it's because we do everything that in here. We don't travel with a giant, 6-off wired HMD. We don't travel with standalone HMDs. We don't drive them to meetings. We just say, log in and we'll pop into a meeting. We can do it right now. There's no waiting. So it's been very, very effective for us to do that. We've also attended conferences around the world through VR. And these are just some of the conferences the physical conferences that we haven't actually been at. These are in-person conferences. But we've attended these conferences because a partner of ours is there, or a reseller of ours is there, or one of our customers is there. And they'll just, we'll either ship them an HMD, or they typically have one already, or some laptop, and we just pop in and we talk about Rumii, we talk about whatever they want to talk about. We do these things. But one of the things I want to highlight is this. So Nokia is a customer of ours. They're actually a partner of ours, and they're a very important partner. In 2018, Nokia had conferences that were supposed to last. They were planning them for a 3-month time frame. They ended up going almost the entire year of 2018. So Nokia has internal Nokia conferences that are very, very big, and they fly people from their Nokia offices around the world. And they talk about all things Nokia. Well, they did that, but to save money, they employed Rumii. So instead of us flying to these conferences, and instead of them flying engineers to give demos on new Nokia products, they used Rumii, they loaded 3D models of their Nokia products, and they had their own employees interact with those products and us in VR. And that conference saved them a tremendous amount of money. They still use our software for these conferences. And they started in Europe. So they initially started in like Spain, Greece, London, very cool places that I would have been happy to travel to actually for an in-person conference, but we didn't need to. So it was much more effective just not to do that. And I wanted to go over this. So a typical setup, it doesn't matter if you're using if you're attending a conference, you're putting on a conference, or if you're having a meeting. This is a typical setup. You've typically got some sort of get rid of that speaker or meeting lead. I organize a meeting and I'll talk about this thing at this meeting, or I want to do this, what I'm doing right now. If you want to have someone stream, you can have an admin. You don't need an admin to do that. I know Daniel was trying to stream this, but we have people recording and doing all kinds of different things. In our educational scenarios, typically this would be like I forget what they're called, but one of the professors, like someone who's getting a PhD or whatever. They typically fill this role and they'll do different recordings and whatever. They'll help with account creation and that sort of thing. And you've got all the attendees, and the attendees can use pretty much any device. Our software is device agnostic. A lot of the software in our space is device agnostic. I think pretty much everyone, with rare exceptions, device agnostic. So you don't need to go spend a lot of money. You can pretty much use it on whatever device you currently own, even if that device is not an HMD. Oops. And the nice thing about this, and we experienced this through our own hiring practice, is that all of our prejudices were just stripped away. I didn't actually know what people looked like. In fact, one of our partners, Michael McDonald, he teaches English lessons in VR. He's been doing it for a little over a year. I just saw his actual face 2 days ago. I didn't even know what the guy looked like. And we have a very, very good relationship with him. So I would say that it not only augments, I think it actually improves the relationship, because I don't know if you're a CEO, if you drive a Lamborghini, I don't know if you're wearing a potato sack to work every day, and I don't care. The only thing that matters is what's in your brain and what's in your heart. And that goes a very, very long way. And honestly, math is simple. $15, 1 month of daily conferencing or daily working. I mean, it's not rocket science. I'm not sure rocket science is even rocket science anymore with what Elon Musk is doing, but it's not complicated at all. And that's it. So I'd love to have a discussion and answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Matt. That's amazing. Can I jump in front with you? Can I jump in front with you?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I've muted myself. Please do. Please do.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So that's amazing. I mean, every single statistic, every single fact and figure you put up on that screen, I'm just going to move out of the screen, is impressive. And I love the fact that you guys are walking the talk, because that's what we need. We need really good examples of how this is working, not how it can work. And you seem to be doing that. The fact that you hire people, did you also say when we chatted that it was kind of a way of diversifying, or like giving equal access to people? Like you said, it's what's in your mind, what's in your heart. Do you find you're hiring a more diverse range than maybe the average business? I don't know.
I do, yeah. So that's actually a really good question. So we, at our company, because we hire that way, we really just focus on, we run, so first of all, the answer is yes. And we run
Yes.
what's called a results-oriented work environment. It's called a ROW. A ROW is something that his name is Laszlo Bock. He used to work at Google. He was a former senior vice president of people at Google.
Yeah.
He now consults. I think he's still on the board, actually, at Google. But he wrote a book. I don't remember the name of the book. I think it's called Work Rules, but he came up with this thing called a ROW, results-oriented work environment. And we implemented that. And that's how we hire. We hire through VR and we work through VR. And what we found is by doing that, we have a much more diverse diverse set of employees, not only in the typical areas of diversity, but really in where they matter more, in diversity of ideas, diversity of challenges, diversity of education. And the other thing I'll say about that is, in addition to the diversity, we have almost half of our company is women. So, Jen Chavez is absolutely incredible. And
as I can attest, working with Jen over the week leading up to this, she's super on the ball and really, really helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, she's amazing. And so not only that, we have a minority owned business. So 51% of our company is minorities. We also have veterans
Wow.
that work at our company. And we
Amazing.
never
So then the
ask
diversity becomes an asset of your business. Is that right?
100%. Yes.
Superb. Love it. Love it. Love it. Absolutely. I wanted to also remark on some of the statistics early on. You were talking about how much money you save, and that's an absolutely huge amount. I never really, when you see the figures, yeah, yeah, that one, the one with the tickets, the ticket prices, that one. When you look at it like that, you know, and people start talking about VR as expensive. If you're doing it right, you're saving money with VR. This is absolutely amazing. I have a challenge now, so I'm in a fortunate position. I work in my day job. I work at a college, and I've been tasked with setting up a VR lab, and I'm kind of trying to convince them. They've bought in pretty much. I've got them. I've got them by the the scruff of the neck. They're not getting away. However, they do want to see return on investment and that kind of stuff. And when I'm gonna show them this video, or maybe even you'll let me present this slideshow, or you could present it to my management. That would be cool, something like that. Anyway, um, to really highlight how we as a college can save money, how we as a college can reach people, how and the carbon dioxide footprint. I love that. I don't know if you ever heard, but we were trying. I think there's somebody in the background trying to calculate. Oh, he's getting excited again. um, but
You
we
did
have
say it would
somebody in the
happen one more
background
time.
of the conference
Yeah.
trying to calculate uh, based on yeah, um, based on about 1,000 attendees. Here we go, Matt. Yeah. Were you getting excited again? You jumped out? um, I was just
Matt, you're
saying we
on
were.
mute.
Oh, I'm on mute? No, he'll
No,
come back.
Matt was.
We've yeah, we've got somebody who's trying to calculate, kind of like Rumi and Matt have done here, what the cost or the carbon footprint impact would be of a real world conference based on 1,000 attendees, as opposed to this virtual conference we're putting on. We haven't got the figures yet, hoping to come through with that, but um, it's a really timely showcase of the solutions that we have with this technology. And of course, another
So,
one, I think Matt said that the Mobile World Congress was shut down because of the
mhm,
coronavirus.
yeah.
This is huge things, but we have solutions. You're right, Matt.
So
You
Daniel,
Oh,
there you go.
sorry, I'm
so
way too
Daniel,
excited.
and
Yes.
now that Matt's back as well,
Yeah,
so because for your school and what you're trying to do, obviously
yeah,
Matt's got a lot of customers that are that have had the same problem potentially.
exactly.
But when you're talking about creating your VR lab, Matt has another customer, Cochise College,
Oh
in
yes,
Southern Arizona, that had to make the same kind of effort you're doing now to
yeah,
show return on investment
yeah,
for their VR lab, and they're
yeah.
leveraging Rumii. So it might be a good mix up for you guys to link up with Cochise
Thank you.
College
Is it
as well.
Cochise University?
It's Cochise College,
Coach.
Cochise College.
Okay.
It's a community college in Southern Arizona, in Sierra Vista, Arizona.
Thank you so much for that. I'll look them up.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll
That
make a
would be
direct
very helpful.
connection with you,
Yeah,
Daniel. I
please,
can connect
please
you with
do.
John Walsh over there. In fact, I'm glad that you were talking with John Grant, because I was gonna just say you should talk to John Grant about the VR lab. He's
There you
running
go.
an impressive VR lab over there at Fort Huachuca. So
Lovely. Yeah. Can you do me a favor? Like I said, every single one of your slides was impressive. Can we just run through them a little bit? And I'd like to just comment on a few things that you were saying. Uh, there we go. Save 80%. If you don't, you're not, you're wrong. Okay. Absolutely. Let's compare costs. Yeah. While you had jumped out, I was saying we've got somebody on Twitter trying to calculate the cost of our carbon footprint of this virtual conference, which is not zero. I kind of automatically assumed right zero, but you have servers running the platforms and everything like that. Also, hidden costs like manufacture of headsets you could calculate. I don't know exactly what the parameters are going to be for the calculation, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be impressive, and to see it lined up like this as well. What about the carbon footprint one, Matt? Can you bring that one up again? There we go. 81 tons of carbon, metric tons of carbon footprint. Now, my wife is an activist.
So we actually use there's a I used to use I'm not joking. I used to do this on my own by using an old reverse Polish notation calculator that I had, which I love RPNs. If you've ever done engineering, it's amazing, and it was ridiculously astronomically hard to do that. So I found an online calculator that does it for you. I'm happy to share it with you, Daniel, if you want, and anyone else who's interested. It is incredible. It walks you through a series of questions, and it calculates things like how much electricity are you using in your home or office, everything you were mentioning around real carbon footprint, your drive, your flights, everything. It's really there's no need to use anything else. Actually, I think the EPA. I think it's from the EPA, but I'm happy to share it with anyone who's interested.
Yeah, cool. Fantastic. Yeah, my wife is an activist, and she's just been selected to take part in quite a epic voyage. So there's an expedition called X Expedition, and it's a boat that's sailing around the world, and it's all female crew, and they're doing research on microplastics around the planet and the impact to research it and better understand it. And they break it up into legs, and my wife has been chosen for the leg from the Cook Islands to Tonga, so middle of the Pacific. Yeah, it's really excited about that. I'm going to Australia in April, which is a trip we will have to fly for. But the point is that uh, we're in a hurry to do something about carbon footprints. And you're saying you're saving on your carbon footprint and saving money and increasing your profits. We need to be talking about this to more companies. Absolutely, we're in a hurry here. Okay, you mind bring up the next one? Operating costs at conference fees, amazing. Productivity. Is there any? Right, here's the question, Matt. Is there anything that's gone down as a result of using VR? Anything at all?
I would say not as a result
Yes,
of
I know
using
your weight. Your weight.
That is true.
For sure. That is for sure. My weight, most definitely, as I'm very radically
You should add that
transparent
to the
on
slide.
Twitter. Yes, I'm radically transparent. In fact, I was going through my slides the other day with Jen, and one of the slides, because I'm so radically transparent with everything, I show like I'm not wearing a shirt, and Jen just looks at that slide and she goes, "I don't need to see that." I thought that was brilliant. That was brilliant. But yeah, so I would say nothing's gone down as a result of VR. However, not going to an office most definitely has its challenges. So there's a feeling of loneliness, and Jen and I have talked about different ways to combat that. One of those is if you have a company, not everyone has this, but if you have a company and you're well financed enough through either investment or revenue, you should have a quarterly face-to-face meetup. It'll augment those interactions, but that's just normal stuff working remotely,
And then
And
there's a
Matt,
different focus on the there's a different
I was
focus
just
then on the face-to-face interactions, right? If your standard operating is in VR and then you make a special deal of actually meeting up, then it's more intense, I imagine. Sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, and you start thinking about how people are taking, obviously for years they've been taking smoke breaks, but now they take their smartphone or social media breaks.
Smart
breaks. But just think of what some of the other breaks can be as the actual meetup breaks, where every hour you step out and you're going into another room in VR, but it's all they're doing there. They're not working. They're just chatting and talking about, hey, did you see the crash in the NASCAR event yesterday? And, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. And this one's massive. I mean, when you were saying that, it dawned on me, right? So, Educators in VR, we're a community first, but we're also a social profit company. So social because we want to reinvest a lot of our profits into the causes we're passionate about. But we're a profit company because we need to be sustainable. We need to operate well. But it dawned on me, actually, you guys are walking the talk. Educators in VR, the headquarters, the Welsh headquarters, is in my office here in a house in the north of Wales, in my home, surrounded by sheep on the side of a mountain. so couldn't get more remote. And Laurel in Portland, she's stuck in the forest in Portland somewhere. So we don't have an office. This is the office, and we can go anywhere. We could have a meeting in a 360 environment at a beach in Hawaii if we want. Why choose anywhere else? So it dawned on me, actually, yeah, we're operating at a similar. We will never have those costs. We will never have to find an office to operate from. What a great way, that when we approach our investors, future investors, they're going to say, what are your costs? We can say very minimal. Fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that it makes a big deal in your balance sheet. And I'm sure your wife, being an activist, would probably leave you if you had an office. So
Well, yeah, possibly. She's not best happy with this week of conference because I'm stuck in the office with a headset on, which is as good as not being here. For I think I fell asleep with my headset on earlier.
I believe it. I totally believe it, man.
All right. How are we doing for time? We got a few more minutes. I want to go through a couple of more slides, please, if you don't mind, because it's 2020. Why are we still commuting from screen to screen? That was really that struck home. Like I say, every slide. You wake up, you look at a screen, then you drive in a car to go and work on a screen. And in my case, I'm teaching. My day job is teaching refugees and migrant workers and international students to learn English and integrate into the Welsh and British culture, which I'm really passionate about. And it's really humbling to work with that group of people. But Michael McDonald, he comes and works here. He does language lessons in here. I know that for a fact from Gold Lotus. There's no reason we can't teach English to those users, across distance and space. So I wouldn't have to get up and go to college. And actually, that's something that I'm working on. You mentioned the loneliness. I get it. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, and I do mean to interrupt you, but I apologize for interrupting
Please.
you.
Yeah.
But I will
I get
say that
excited.
we firmly believe here at Doghead Simulations that it's already happening. It's not the future. It's already happening that people are no longer going to work. They're no longer going to college. They're just going to slip on an HMD and attend college and attend work. And I think that has a lot of important and powerful impacts to the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any more slides left? We rarely travel to conferences. That was, wonderful. There you go. We've attended. Lovely. Typical setup. Yep. Emails from you personally. Yeah, you were talking about how you hired your employees. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
Math is simple. $15 a license. It is simple, isn't it? It really is that simple. Listen, Matt, I want to thank you so much for this session in particular, but in general, and Jen as well, for just being completely open and supportive, supporting the conference. Can't quite believe we're actually doing it. It was in build up for so long, but hope everybody's having a good time. Hope you've checked out the other platforms. We haven't been to Somnium Space yet, and we haven't been to Mozilla Hubs yet. So I'm really, really excited about bringing those two platforms in as well. But we've operated really well here on Rumii, on Altspace, and Engage. And I hope to see you at some of the other events. Guys, thank you so much. And looking forward to your other events as well, because you're doing one with us in Altspace pretty soon. Is it tomorrow?
It's tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Sorry.
Okay. No, it's all right. It is tomorrow. Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
Wonderful.
So we've got so on Wednesday I've got a talk tomorrow at 5 p.m. on how we use VR to bring education to an island in Africa. And high school didn't exist. Only primary school was the only level of education that existed on this island. Now, because of virtual reality and Rumii, these kids are going to high school and eventually college, and it's pretty profound and positive impact on the world. So that's happening. And then at 10 p.m. tomorrow, I'll be on a panel of spatial computing experts with Dr. Sana Farid, who we love. She's a partner of ours. Alvin Wayne Graylin, who's a personal friend of mine, incredible guy. And a great story there, and really some other incredible luminaries. And I would love to be on a panel with Julie Smithson. I think she's doing some important work in the space too. So.
She is. Yeah, well, on that note, thank you for that, for mentioning the panel as well. We're really excited. The panel is trying to bring all the heads of the different social or multi-user platforms together with a couple of extra special guests. Looking forward to that a lot. And just we wanted to say, we're going to be doing more events, either weekly, monthly events, but also big events. We got a couple of ideas brewing. So let's just say here's to future collaborations. All right. Oh, there you go. Yeah, put it there. Boom. Excellent. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to head out to the next event. Wonderful. Thank you. Namaste. And see you soon. All right. Enjoy the conference, the summit. Thank you.
Take care.
All right. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I was on mute. I was talking away on mute. If anyone wants these slides, I'll happy to make them available to you.
Definitely, Matt. Yeah.
Yep. No worries. For sure. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. hmm Yeah, we get it. So yeah. So yep. So we currently support 360 videos viewing only through the YouTube widget on our board. However, there's two things happening. So we currently support Matterport environments. If you're not familiar with Matterport, it's Matterport. So we do support that.
So he'll pop back up here in a second. Have you tried, at least as a test case, Wander, Rob?
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we are supporting 360 environments this year to do exactly what you just mentioned. So we will be. It'll probably be like Q3, Q4 this year, but we definitely have it on our roadmap. Well, yeah, we have a so we have partnered with a company here named Vestigo. You can just look them up. They're a great company, Vestigo. They're one of our partners, and Marshall Mosher is their CEO. Really, truly, truly wonderful human being. He is a really good guy. But what they do is they do in-person corporate like team building events, like so things like ropes courses, that sort of thing. The problem they're having is their revenue has declined significantly because no one goes to an office anymore. It's really rare that people travel to an office. So with distributed workforces and globalization, it's changed that. So we partnered, they reached out to us. We developed a partnership, and we will be building these types of team building events and, more social kind of things that aren't just social that people pop into and kind of shoot the shit, but something more meaningful than that.
So almost even things like escape rooms that might be meaningful for their particular, category of work or something.
Absolute, 100%. Absolutely. Yes. Impactful to their category of work. Yes. Yeah, I will say though, it's important to know that I agree with you on that point, that last point you just made, but it's very important that we don't replicate the real world in VR, because the real world already exists. There's no need to replicate the real world. When I go to VR experiences that have desks and chairs and I have legs, I go, why? We don't need this. Literally nothing. So I think what we need to do is cognitively process this paradigm mental shift and bring in more valuable experiences that elevate our industry and take advantage of the technology that exists in spatial computing. I mean, all of it's possible. All of it's possible because it's 3D generated environments, right? It's just programming. It's easy. It's just time, money, and people. Absolutely. Right. Exactly. Ever read a novel? There you go. It'll fill in the blanks. Well, I got to go, guys. I sorry to cut you short. I got to go. I got to prep for another meeting I have in like 6 minutes. But really wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for attending. I really appreciate it.
Can you put your watch next to mine real quick?
You got it.
Okay, because I wanted to see the difference. All right.
Same time. We're you and I are rocking the same.